when you get tested by a situation, you don't rise to the occasion, but you sink to the level of your training. This is from the Navy SEALs. And this is really, 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 really fantastic to discuss. So what does it mean? We think, okay, there's a situation, we will rise to the occasion. That's the same. But you can't really rise beyond your training. Okay, now here's the situation, I have to run, but I never run. So after 100 yards, I'm out of breath. I can't just do it because it's in my head. So a lot of devotees say, how do you deal with this? Or how do you deal with that? And what they're asking is, when I'm in a particular situation, how do I deal with it? And my personal experience is that I don't want to say you can't deal with it or you don't try to deal with it. But my personal experience is, unless you're trained to deal with it when you're in the situation, you tend to fail. Oh, I got angry again. Oh, I gave into that temptation again. Oh, I gave into this again. Oh, I did that again. Why? Because you have to go back to training. So when you go into train, I have to train myself. Training for us is what? It's our sadhana. It's our I have to practice over and over and over, not giving into that. I have to practice over and over, not becoming angry. There's a whole discussion of how you can practice that. That's for a different video. We have actually done videos on that, how to deal with this. But the concept is, if you don't practice it in your day-to-day practice of life, of living and sadhana, then when you're in the situation, you're not going to be able to handle it well, because you can't rise to the occasion. In the moment, you have to rise to your level of training. Sometimes they say, if you're always practicing, then when a situation comes, you're always ready. You don't have to prepare for it. And so you've been in situations and you've done something or you've said something, and later you've regretted it. And say, why did I say that? That was so stupid. It was the wrong thing. I hurt somebody. I offended someone. I criticized someone. I shouldn't have said that. Why? Because you had not practiced controlling your speech. You had not practiced controlling your tendency to criticize. You haven't been working on it. So there's a catalyst. There's a trigger in a situation, and then you respond to it. If you're in the same situation, but you've practiced it, the trigger is not going to trigger that, because now you've dealt with it. So there's nothing you could say to trigger. Or if you say, well, the trigger's still there, but you know how to respond to that trigger because you've practiced. So don't think you're just going to read something, understand it, and then you're going to go out in the world and be able to act properly. You're going to read it, you're going to understand it, and then in your life, in your sadhana, in your day-to-day practice, you're going to work on it. You're going to work on yourself so that when you're in situations where you are normally being disturbed by that situation, you're going to be able to deal with it, because now you're trained. It's like a military man. You can't send him out to fight if he's not trained. So beautiful, beautiful idea. You don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the foundation, which is the level of your training. So here's the situation. You're going to fall to the level of your training, which reminds us of that funny statement where devotee said, I fell into Maya. Prabhupada said, no, you're always in Maya, but sometimes you fall into Krishna. So we want to practice to fall into Krishna more, right? That would be good. Hare Krishna.